What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Basem Hanna Podcast. I feel like I should have done today's topic around New Year's because it's about goals and setting the goals and achieving the goals. But as with New Year's resolutions, they don't always have to start January 1st. And I feel like this is such an important subject that it resonates no matter what time of the year you do it. So let's get into setting goals. I will talk from personal experience. I say a lot of things. I want a lot of things. I want to have a six-pack. I want to be the most attentive father and husband. I want to have the most successful business, the biggest house, the nicest cars, the whatever. I say a lot of things. But if I'm being honest, it's when I write things down that they become reality. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight or tips on how I set up the goals that I truly want to achieve so that I can build the best environment for me to achieve success. So step one is really easy. It's taking all of the talk, the chatter that I do, and filtering it out and figuring out which ones are so important that I want to write them down. The reason I write them down is once it's on paper, there is a sense of internal accountability to me. The minute I put it down, it's no longer in the ether of my brain and what I say. It's real, it's written in black and white, and it puts a sense of accountability on me. So I would say that step one is an easy one, write it down. Step two is kind of a facet of step one, which is after you write it down, you also need to write down, not just talk about, write down the plan by which you want to achieve your goal. It's one thing to say something and to create that accountability. I want to do X. I want my business to be this successful. I'm going to leave my job or find a new job by Y, whatever. But it's a completely different thing to start mapping out where you are right now and where your end goal is and the steps that you need in the middle to get there. The reason that helps is because it also creates kind of like a chain or a link within your mind to help you understand that what may seem like a big insurmountable goal or something that is too heavy for you to take on can be broken down into these smaller bite-sized chunks, right? So step two is create a plan and write down the steps that you want to take. Step three is take the action and, most importantly, record your results. It's, again, not just about writing down the goal and writing down the plan, but it's also the steps that you take in the middle. It's that daily grind that you do that helps create habit, right? Like by saying you want to achieve something that you're not currently achieving or that you haven't currently achieved, you're asking to take on something unknown. The best way for you to do that is to break it down into little steps. To break it down into little steps, you're creating brand new habits for your mind and your body to adjust to. By writing it down, and this will come into step 4, and writing down and tracking your progress each step of the way, it helps you for what step 4 is, which is the inevitable stumble, the failure that you're going to achieve. One day, if your goal is to lose weight, you're going to be so lazy and you're not going to want to go to the gym. Write it down anyways. Don't just write the good stuff. Don't just track your macros or your eating habits on the good days. Track them on the bad as well. But with step 4, with writing down and tracking your progress and accepting that you're going to fail, get back up. Don't let one failure stop you from continuing down your path. Like, everybody fails. I fail all the time. I fail more than I succeed. But the true sign of a winner or a successful person is to take that failure and be able to internalize it, accept it, and move on from it, right? And use it as a point of growth, a point of learning. Like, remember how you felt when you failed and say, what was in my control? What could I have changed? And then write it down and then keep moving. And finally, step 5 is after you've tracked that progress and you failed and you're continuing to go, is look back on where you were when you started and where you are right now, because that will ultimately give you will first of all be extremely surprised with how far you've come. It's the little nuancey steps that you take day by day, the inches that you gain that allow you to make big leaps and bounds of success. Success is not an overnight thing, especially success that lasts. It happens slowly over time, and there's usually a system and a methodical process to it. So the 5th step is to reward yourself. Take a look at where you are right now. Look at that last journal entry that you put in, or that last time that you tracked your results, and rewind back to day 1 and be like, holy smokes, if I'm working out and my goal is to work out, I can lift X now, where before I couldn't do that. If you're in a business setting, it's like, man, my conversion rate, if I was a salesperson, is 20% now, whereas before it was 5%. If you're in development, it's like, I used to need to analyze 100 sites, and I used to have to spend hours and hours on each site before I found one that was a winner. And now I can look at properties in a minute and know that that's going to be successful or not successful. So it's the little wins, right? So if you're serious about achieving your goals and tracking your progress, it's important to create a plan. So I hope that the advice that I'm sharing today helps you guys to take what you're saying verbally and turn it into a plan of action. So I hope that the advice I'm giving you today helps you to take what is otherwise just like talk into the ether and turn it into an actionable plan. Write the goal down, create a plan, track your progress, accept your failure, and then audit your results. Look back at where you were when you started and where you are now. I assure you, you will be pleasantly surprised, and you will be much further along the path to achieving your goals. I hope that helped. Thanks.